This time around, let's talk about empowering women's political and leadership participation in a digital age. We have in the studio with us, live in flesh and blood, Reverend Binite. Good morning, Well. It's good to have you here again.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, looking at the female gender, a lot is expected from the female gender beyond just the natural role of being mother to children. And we've seen how the gender has evolved in terms of what they can do and what they've shown that they're capable of. But when it comes to the political landscape and even leadership, it seems like it hasn't gotten to the peak of what is expected or what the woman has shown that she can do. Let's begin from home, Nigeria. Participation of the female gender in the political landscape. Why is it not yet at its peak in Nigeria?
What a great question and a good way to start. It's clearly the fact that politics and leadership is not yet understood by many women and even the society. And even Nigerians' participation in politics is low. How much more female? Howbeit, we can see that female are rising in multidimensional ways. For example, a lot of the MDs of the bank are women. So they are rising in many facets, in the boardroom and many ways, and thanks to WIMBIs and many other organizations that are empowering women. But women empowerment in politics has to be very specific and understood. Nigeria, unfortunately, is at an abysmal level. Compared with our counterparts, even in Kenya, there was an increase. We have Kenya at over 21%. Then the highest in the world is in Africa, Rwanda. And it's amazing that Rwanda is topping the whole world in women in at least politics, in the parliament, as it were. And people say it's because of the genocide. Well, America had a civil war. Nigeria had a civil war. Well, yet women, that's an impact, and the result is not true. So it cannot just be the issue of the civil war or the genocide that happened within the 100 years, but 100 days, I beg your pardon. But we need to recognize that there are things that are hindering women in politics. We need to understand the why that is behind it. And we need to understand, like the word empowering, because really nobody gets up in the morning or have the capacity to understand politics and leadership just from just being a female. And being a female is being a human, first of all. Sometimes we wear too much of our womanness or womanhood above our humanity. We're first of all human, so we have the ability to lead. And it's so clear that even from the home gate, we see women organizing, right? But it's just that they have not been told or encouraged, and those who have been told does not know how to go about it. When it comes to political dynamics, it's a little bit different because it's at the crescendo of leadership, whereby your dominance and leadership and policies become more apparent. And so there are things that are required to get there. And there are many reasons. So we're going to be talking about those reasons for me, so that women out there who already maybe have the ambition and think that they can lead, they're already leading. Remember when we went to the same classroom with the men? Some of us were topping the class. And there were not two exams. They didn't have a special paper, the female exam, because we are weaker than the men exam. We all wrote the same exam paper. So therefore, that same capacity needs to be translated into dynamics. And the number one critical issue in women in politics is understanding. Should women be in politics? Because that's the question, or a matter that is arising. Many people say, oh, should women be in politics? No, women should not be in politics. They should be in the home, in the other bedroom, and all that. No, women in politics includes women leading politically through the governance gate. And governance is great at the grassroots. You have governance at the grassroots. You have governance within locality, community, and all that. And so women should know that if I must lead, I must understand that it's also my right to lead. I'm not leading because I'm trying to usurp a man. It's not a competitive issue. It's a comparative, collaborative effort that as a woman, I ought to lead. And so fulfilling my role in leading, including political role. Because at the political level, the dynamics are a little bit different from the woman who's an MD, right? At the MD, you're managing an organization at the top level and you're making decisions that cascades, right? But at the political level, you're managing more lives and you're dealing with the policy that will govern them for the rest of their lives, that will affect them intricately. And so as a woman, you know that if you can lead as a manager, all you need to do is understand the dynamics to lead in politics. So it starts with understanding, and that's why training is important. Any woman out there who thinks that she's going to lead without training is not telling herself the truth. Let's use a case study of Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton is Bill Clinton's wife, former president of the United States. But she's not just a Bill Clinton wife, right? But she's also a woman in her own rights who is a leader. And even the husband says that the reason why he married her, because he knew that Hillary would take him to the top. But Hillary was trained by a man called Saul Alinsky. Saul Alinsky is a political expert in mass mobilization, in grassroots movements. And all leadership starts at the grassroots. It starts at what we call organizing. And she was taught how to organize potentials, organize people around her ambition, organize people to the direction in which she was going. And this Saul Alinsky model is a model that we already have as people. But we got to get involved. Because the second capital for getting involved into politics is called social capital or social quotient. A lot of us need to have a social capacity. I should be able to associate with people whether I like them or I don't. And men have that, they are more savvy, going beyond their emotions, going beyond praises or no praises. I'm not in politics for accolades. I'm in politics for function. It is my works and my functionality that would determine what happens in the society. And so I must make sure that I understand that my social quotient is important. And social quotient changes. The dynamics changes. If I'm at a local level where maybe we're all Yoruba, it's okay for my Yoruba-ness to be there. But if I move from the dynamics of just Yoruba into a people group that within even my consistency, there are a lot of Igbos, there are a lot of Ishekiris, there are a lot of this and that, there are a lot of Hausas, I need to understand that cultural context because I need their votes. Or if I'm a Christian, I can only function with those who are Christians. Then I have a problem. Your constituency is not Christian. Your constituency is the people within the community that recognize your authority. Because your social quotient increases by the authority of the third issue, charity, philanthropy. Many women need to understand charity as a tool for political change. The greatest politicians all over the world are philanthropists. They are involved with their money in human effort, solving human problems. A Donald Trump did not come to become a popular president by chance. The guy has been doing apprentice. He has a brand, which is a fourth issue. Are you a brand? How do you create a brand? There are brand makers all over the world. There are brand makers in Nigeria. If you want to be in politics, even at the grassroots, you got to create your brand. The area boy, what is it called? Area boy. He will win politics before some of us who are elites. He
understands the area.
Exactly. He's an area boy. Some are area mama, you know? So you need to become area something now. What problem are you solving? So you are dragging your philanthropy, creating a brand of the solution that you are. Because every one of us must have a solution that we're bringing to the table. The problem is that people want political power, but they have not solved any problem. See, even the bad, in quote, politicians, they were solving some problems. Some of them solved problem by giving their fellow area boys just some, you go to smoke. So they know that when we go to a Oga corner, we go smoke, we go drink, we go eat. What are you supplying? You should be better than that, Oga. There are matters arising within every community. You should take a list of an expert, young person, especially young ones with technology. Take data of the matters arising. What are the urgent issues within that community? And just take even one. And form a philanthropy, charity work over that and create yourself as a brand. If you do not succeed locally, The dynamics as you increase into regional to national become more difficult because you're dealing with more capital. So those are the kind of dynamics that we need to deal with, and many more.
Interesting. I like the fact that you're pitching the entry point to be solution driven, not that you just want to serve or you just want to take over power, which is quite interesting. Now, if you look at the national threshold for women participation in politics or holding political offices, the global standard should be at 22.5%. Rwanda is ahead of other African nations.
By far.
But Nigeria has been estimated to be at 6.7%, which is
even lower now.
Lower now. Now, what are some of the constraints that women are facing when you look at the political terrain in Nigeria and it's limiting their participation in that kind of activity?
It boils down to those other four matters I mentioned, but there's a critical matter called money. Money also in politics is important. And that's why the dynamics of the shift of women in finances, ultimately we create that. But how be it, the average Rwanda woman that is in politics necessarily is not about money alone. She has those currency. And sometimes in Nigeria, we put the currency of money above this currency I just spoke about, understanding, charity as philanthropy, and the issue of a social quotient, understanding and becoming a brand. We put money above it. And that's why I don't mention money first. Because there are many ways to be politically relevant. What we call kingmakers. There are people who make people, like our dear president has encouraged a lot of people to become leaders over the years. There are people anywhere in the world. It is a given that they are political makers, kingmakers. And a kingmaker looks for a gift, looks for a talent, looks for capacity. The moment they see capacity rising, can you imagine if you're beginning to organize a community and everybody's rallying, who is this? Binite, everybody, Binite. The man who is a kingmaker will come knocking at the door with his money, say, can we partner together? But of course, money and partnership, you need to be careful because you may be carrying an agenda that is not your agenda. But how be it, one of the ways to also raise money is crowdfunding. We already have started it. You have the new generation of juggernauts, technical know-how. Look at what they did during the demonstration, what do they call it? NSAS. In 1 week, they were raising incredible money from everywhere in the world. But if they have a reason, and you bring them to your team and said, we need to raise money, money finds the direction of a carrier with a brand. Money and brand making is a critical matter. So it's so important, it's so critical that women don't base all solutions on money, and they lack the other capitals that will help them go forward. And so it's something that you and I need to continue to talk about. And those of us who are into training, we need to continually remind the women. Like when I come into a class and I have male and female, I don't give women the preference of being female. I don't do it. You're in class with your social capacity called sagacity. Everybody should be sagacious. You should be able to have insight, foresight, discernment. You cannot navigate the political terrain without sagacity. Sometimes sagacity requires how to convince your husband, if you are married, to follow you. Sagacity may require that I need 2 boys who are available every night. When there's political meeting, they are going with me. So I have a team following me to those night meetings. If you like, have the meeting at 3 a.m., I will be there. Why? Because I have to show up. So in politics, there's navigation. And you are taking account of every event. You're making sure you're carrying your own stuff, your water. So these boys, when I say boys, I want boys we wants me, that you're paying good. That if someone tries you, their hand, one slap from there can make a difference. So you carry and want boys to the meeting at 3 a.m. And your husband knows and want boys. So because they come to your house to eat. Because you are being sagacious. You know that this thing requires me to navigate. Already because I'm a female, society has not taken us serious. Not because of only politics, but on a general basis. Being a female is being shortchanged in a way. But we haven't proven beyond reasonable doubt. A crowd is coming. Thank God for the affirmation actions. Thank God for everything women are doing. But bottom line, as long as women in population are not educated and free in their mindset, they will not be able. Because your mindset either limits you or gives you liberty. And so women need to understand that when it comes to politics, I don't put all my emotions. I move like a human because I am leading. I have something to bring on the table. And even if I don't, for crying out loud, in the technological age, do your research. That's when you get among girls and boys with sharp minds. We are in our 50s now. We were born before technology, but there are those who are born inside it. Pay them. Call them to your team. Say, research that. Research that. Research that. So when you go to the table, you're not saying, so when the men are talking, 10 men have finished speaking, madam, because that's how they call us. They won't even call you Mrs. somebody, or Juliet or something. Madam, what do you think? It's okay. Everything is okay. No, I just researched that 2.5% of our people lack water. Water is a matter, and I've just contracted somebody to build a borehole tomorrow morning, and the borehole will be ready. Madam, you're moving. I say, we got to do something. But not be there, you did Dundee, fine face. Sit down, they look. No, you got to contribute. You got to contribute and make sure that you are bringing solutions to the table. One of our leaders in the Institute for National Transformation says, Nigeria has a problem that has your name on it. You're offering media and communication. There are other problems arising. You got to get involved and show up. If you like, put meeting at 4 a.m. I will show up. I've taught in the Americans at 3 a.m. Have my bath, put on my makeup, looking as if it was 9 a.m. Why? I got to show up. And so when women, I'm still breastfeeding. Well, get friends. I move with friends. I have people I can drop my children with and a housekeeper, and I can go to bed. And people have done the same with me. Drop their children, drop housekeeper, even drop food. Because we need to help each other in our multifacetedness. Because our dynamics are a bit different, especially when children at younger age. But doesn't mean we cannot lead. We can still lead at any point, but we need to be organized and know exactly what we're doing.
Taking from all you said, influence is there. There are different factors to this. You talked about how you need to play at the grassroots, the currency of money, of how you need to be sagacious and all. But let's look at that vis-a-vis the way society constructs or the societal expectation of a woman not to be loud, not to be so visible. And from the home, even while the woman is growing and naturally displaying some of these characters, the grooming tends to quench some of these things. How can the woman break free when she's been modeled to be a certain pattern that is in contrast with these things you just talked about?
Well, there's something we call mindset reengineering. It's one of the matters arising in women leadership. There's a mindset reengineering. Every woman who has been built into a mold and has been told a lie, because I will guarantee you this is a lie. I don't care whether it's at the church gate, the mosque gate, the city gate, everywhere. A woman is also called to lead. The dynamics in the home front is different from the dynamics at the city gate. I am called to lead because I'm human. And therefore, such a woman must go through reorientation. There is no way you can function if there's no reengineering. You need to re-engineer your mindset because things have been already deposited in you. You have become like a mold. We teach what we call leadership paradigms. In the paradigm in which you grew up, they have told you a lie that you cannot lead, you're incapable, but you're always coming first in class. You're always the top 10. You're always top this, you're always top that. But yet there is a prism in which you look through the world. Your worldview has limited you. And that's why the training aspect, women must research into training. We do training, many people do training. Research where training is appropriate to create another ingredient for political function called courage. Politics require courage. Even for the men, they require courage. So it's not a masculine word to be courageous. Courage is built. I grew up intimidated because I grew up in a polygamous home with all the variation and the fraction of polygamy. My mom left when I was young. So I grew up among competition, hatred, viciousness, especially when my father is not around. It comes out. When he's around, everybody plays nice. But guess what? I built up myself over the years for courage. From my own faith point of view, I prayed through. I read. I studied to show myself. I insisted on being different. Why? Because I read that I am. And so every woman must go through the school of training and understand how to tap into what we call courage. Without courage, you can't even lead, whether at the top or how much more. The viciousness of politics. Politics is vicious. So what? Life is vicious. It will throw things at you. You must be able to take that lemon and make lemonade. You must take the insult and make it a message. You must try to be like a Trump that everybody is insulting. Yet the man is back again the next morning. You must have something within your spirit. Another ingredient is spirit. You must be spirited. You can't be a lackey and rule. Someone didn't greet you good morning. Someone said you did not tell you you're beautiful. Some people, oh, my husband didn't tell me I'm beautiful. I made a new hair. So what? I have a mirror. I can see. I'm not blind. Do I need someone to tell me I'm beautiful? I know I am. In my own corner. I don't have to be Miss World, or Miss Nigeria. So these are the things we do in training, that every woman should rope herself around a different company. If you stay with pity parties and women who are telling you, oh my shit, life is hard, what can we do? This is our portion. You ain't going nowhere. So every woman needs that mindset re-engineering. I went to a mindset re-engineering, and I know women who are leading today, they will tell you that it came to a point in their life they needed to speak to themselves. So all of us need the courage to tell ourselves, I can go, but how do you do it? You don't jump into the fray. You don't jump into the ocean overnight. You first of all start with the swimming pool. Now, I can swim. Okay. We tried in the swimming pool. We enter river. Okay. The current is not that bad. I can swim. Then we look for lagoon. It's deep, but I can float. Then we jump into ocean. Aha, I can float. With what? With a life jacket. At a boat. I have bought all the paraphernalia to conquer the waters, even where it is. So it's a gradual increase of understanding, but require that reorientation, the dynamics of understanding, so that you can move from the lies that have been told you for many years and move into the dynamics of clarity of understanding. That's the matter, right?
All right, interesting. In the political arena, it is often said that power is not served a la carte. That might not be a time where women will just wait and power offices will be handed over to them. So let's talk about the level of mobilization that should take place among women. There's also this sentiment that also women are also working against women. So how do we address this, and then how cool, or what should be the starting point for women in mobilizing the numbers needed? Because politics is a game of number. So how do, or women should start the mobilization, the kind of networking, political mentoring that should take place among women that will give them the voice and the numbers needed in political participation? What should be the starting point as regards this?
Well, the starting point for me is that most female leaders must know that they are not the only one at the center of the play. I have a training I did called Mirror, Mirror, Who is the Finest? Of course, the story of Snow White. You are not the finest. There are many fine girls just like you. And if you call yourself a woman leader or a female who is leading, and you want to shortchange other females so that you will stay there in the center of leadership, you are small-minded. The greatness of every leader is to create influence or followership, inspiration of others. So when they say women are against women, per se in a form of, because we're very emotional and we weigh things a lot by the physical. But that's the mundane woman. And I believe many women are above that free. They are rising above it and knowing that other women should lead. How do we mobilize ourselves? We mobilize ourselves by encouraging one another. I'm a woman mobilizer. I believe in womanhood to lead. And so I encourage every female out there. I was in a program and somebody talked about the woman economy in a program led by one of my sisters, Mrs. Wellington, and she talked about the fact that women economy, encouraging one another even in business. And then immediately I found a woman who was doing so well in making certain outfit, and I said, well, that's a customer I've gotten. Why? Because as a woman, if I don't encourage another woman, I'm small. And that's the matter. It's not just a matter of being just female. In many people, they don't want anybody to be great. And one of the things that, whether you like it or not, you cannot take away from this president is that a leader who does not create other leaders is not really a leader of leaders. You get it? So he has created from the Daddy Geos of this world, creating giants under them, to maybe Bishop Oyedepo, creating giants under them. My role is to create giant women like myself. And so for me also, I will not vote for a woman who has not fulfilled these dynamics. I'm not voting for you because you're a female. I'm voting for you because you're capable. You're a human that is capable. You need to show capability. And that's why history is important. If people can have a track record of you and you have a sense of oppressing others as a female, you are afraid of another woman, you are not giving, you're not available, you're not there for women, don't expect me on election time to go when a man has been there for me more than you. So it has nothing to really do with so much so of women not voting for women. It's the fact that many female either ride on husband ticket, or brother ticket, father's ticket. They themselves have not become a brand that cares for the people. I should not see you caring for me through the lens of your husband, or you caring for me through the lens of your daddy because your daddy has a name. I need to see you caring for me because you have a track record. If we shake the tree at the time, maybe when you were an executive, were you there for women? As an executive in an office business, did you celebrate women? If we shake the tree a little bit in church, in the mosque, were you there for women? Let's shake the tree a little bit more. In the market, were you that woman that will pour water in front of somebody else's shop? So that you can sell your market. But now when it comes to politics, now you want me to choose you to lead? I will not choose you to lead. Because the stability of leadership has been known on the side of men, but doesn't mean women cannot stabilize leadership. So it's an unfamiliar ground. In a society like ours, it's not globally unfamiliar. Women have become presidents of nations, prime ministers of nations. We have seen the effect of their great leadership. But the key here is that if I'm going to lead, whether it's a Golda Meir that led Israel, you don't want to know the contribution that woman made. Whether it's a male or female contribution. As a female, I don't just contribute to women alone. Also, feminism to the extreme where I count men out will not help me to lead. As a female, I must understand that men are important, women are important. Is it our dear Thatcher of Britain? With strength and power, she led a nation very well. So there are women who have done very well. Is it Okonjo-Iweala in her dynamics today as the World Bank leader? See, women, don't get emotional when you're leading. Not everybody will like you. Fact given. But you never work with only those who love you or like you. That's small-mindedness. You should be able to work with the devil in the city and tame him and work with him. You should know that men are important, female are important, children, the youth, sometimes the way we treat the youth and talk down at them, you can't have them following you tomorrow. You must learn to raise up those youths, give them hope, give them vision, and vision the future on their behalf. When you have a crate of egg, have you shared it? During Christmas, do they see your love quotient? During Easter, during Ramadan, do they see your love quotient? So it's not just your husband coming to bravado with his money. You too, even if you collected small from the husband and collected from the children, show it as your own, going beyond your desire for yourself to the desire for the people.
All right. In a digital age, you mentioned feminism. We find certain ideologies being spread, and we find different affiliations being coming up. Even in schools, there are clubs. How can women who are already in leadership and in politics take advantage of these spaces, these affiliations, these clubs, to begin to create a narrative that empowers and trains for leadership and, of course, politics?
You know, I talked about sagacity. Technology is the most beautiful thing that has happened in the 21st century. With technology, I can train 1,000 women in one day, just by technological space. And so women need to recognize that technology actually is accelerating our capacity. And so I love those young clubs. I'm looking forward to engaging, especially at the university level, as one of my next projects, because therein lies the future of the next female leader, and the young man too, because like I said, or the leaders that are going to be part of the future tomorrow. And I said something to people, every child is leading today for tomorrow. They're not leaders of tomorrow. We want to teach them how to lead where they are, in those clubs. What are the clubs doing? Because for me to engage them, I will engage them to the degree to use both their technological savviness and also their social quotient to do charity works, to create solutions. How does that neighborhood where your university is located have drinkable water? What do we need for it? Remember those days in university, we used to do rag day to go and collect money. By the end of the day, the rag day, where rag reach? These are things. So even those kind of things, washing car, my children, when they were in secondary school, they will go and wash car. There's a car wash day. So you see all these children who have drivers upon drivers washing car that day to collect money. But guess what? The money is not collected to go and do ice cream and watch a movie. The money now is converted to go and take to an old people's center, an orphanage. One of the days, they raised money to build toilets in a public school. You see, those children, can imagine if their momentum continues, the incredible work those children will do. But guess what? At the international level, most universities, especially United States and Canada, will not admit you if you have no social activities. So people recognize that someone who has social quotient is a contributor to society. So sitting pretty with long weave on, okay, but not good enough. Let's look pretty, but let's be active. So all those sororities, those fraternity, if you want to even make it so extreme, wherever they are located, we will go in there, train them, speak to them. A lot of us need to do a lot of champion. So instead of always attending a party on Saturday, let's be at the university. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm raising a crop of women that's the center places that we're going to be going to raise a crop of generation of leaders. Never, never, never leaving the female behind, because she's part of that leadership quotient that Africa needs.
All right. Talking about raising the next set of leaders or generation of leaders, there is also another factor that we might contend with, which is the clash of interest. We're in a digital age where a young person, the Gen Zs of this world, including young women, young boys, they are more interested in technology, entrepreneurship, entertainment. In fact, they would rather watch Big Brother than participate in politics. Isn't that going to be another challenge, the clash of interest, provided by the advent of technology, the options available in the digital age? Then how do we correct this narrative or channel the technology towards ensuring the interest and reducing the apathy in politics?
Well, we know that theory was debunked a little bit in 2023 elections. In 2023 elections, for the first time, we saw the youths coming out. And the reality is that the youth that is in technology or entertainment, as it were, knows that even in the entertainment, he wants to lead. He wants to be the leader, right? Everybody wants to lead. There is a code in man that wants to lead. So even at technology, even if he's a bad boy technology, and one Yahoo boys, he wants to lead.
But that
right? He wants to lead.
That spells out the preference to lead in technology rather
he
than
wants to
politics.
lead, but guess what? It is my responsibility to show him that leadership and politics is critical to his technology. If he cannot see the nexus or the connection, the problem with teaching, training, and empowering people, you need to show them the nexus. You need to show the connectivity. When they know the connectivity, whether in America politics, in the Democratic Party, Republican Party of America, or independents, like our Nigerian that won in Colorado, right? But I think he was independent, but he worked with both Democrats and Republicans. They needed the youth. If the youth knows that his technology has a sway into leadership and he can see the nexus of advantage. The Gen Z generation is about advantage. It's about advantage. If I can't show the youth the advantage, they will not get involved. They know they have been used. A lot of them have been used negatively. They've seen the effect of even parental neglect right from the home gate, where parents are not available for them. And most of them were self-groomed, self-made. Through friends association, they rose up, as it were. Positively, most of the time, negatively, they are there. But my responsibility as an adult, as someone who is educated, who is concerned for society, because the key issue is that's why they are called youths. The key issue is that's why they are young. Therefore, everyone in that age requires empowerment, encouragement, inspiration. And that's why they have those who inspire them. And we should ask the question, why does this guy inspire these people? Have I done my research? He could be telling them lies and they believed. How do I bring the truth? It requires me communicating. And sometimes in communication, if you're not an expert, you need to employ experts. I have someone now who is younger than me. She's an expert in editing, ghost writing and all that. And I'm learning from her how to write. When I write, who am I writing to? And the kind of tone I will use. And how I present the truth. So if I'm speaking to the youth, I need to know how to reach them. But guess what? Even we adults are unwilling to relearn or unlearn. Because a generation that is coming that is so high in technology and intelligence, you cannot give that away to them, from them. But we need to show them the way. But with proof, with nexus, because they are a data generation. Don't come giving them hocus pocus. You got to tell them how it is their advantage, what is it there for them, but above all, what it will do for them. And there's nobody without the code of greatness. But my responsibility is to chart the course by speaking to them, speaking with them, and collaborating with them. Never underestimate because they are youths. You cannot collaborate with them because you're an adult or you're big mama. No, I need them. I surround myself with them. When it comes to this technology, I say, how do they press it? Show me how. Aha, that is it. And because of that, at my age, I'm more technologically advanced than many females at my age. Because I surround myself with these Gen Zs. Yes, they look very rebellious and rude sometimes, but my goodness, I become their friend. I give them some conks, pull some ears, but they know that they pull in ear and they're giving some small conks. They know that this mama loves them. And we begin to create spirit to spirit, mind to mind. And that's where you inspire people. But never underestimate. The whole world is filled with them. Africa has the largest youth population after India. So we still need our youths. We must know how to galvanize them in the proper positively so that they themselves will begin to lead. After all, they were leaders at 29, leaders at 24, 25 who were leading Nigeria once upon a time. So we are responsible if they are not leading because they have not been taught that leadership is the business.
Quickly, let's look at collaboration with the men. Sometimes when empowerment for women is talked about, it's talked under the caption gender equality. And sometimes it seems like there is an aggression or there is a fight, a competition with the men. What should be the approach?
Well, gender equality, I define it a bit differently. Equality is not sameness. I'm not the same as a male. I'm a female. And being a female, I'm very comfortable. But for gender equality to become understood, what are the requirements for the woman to become a real human to participate in life? In gender equality is that, by the grace of God, I have a male and a female. I tell my son, cooking is a life skill. It's not a woman's job. It's a life skill. And before you get married, so that nobody deceives you with a good cuisine, cook for yourself. So I taught my son to cook. My son is one of the best jollof makers. I taught my daughter to cook. And I told my daughter, being a woman and serving your family, starting from your husband to your children, does not diminish your femalehood. But guess what? It should not be stupid enough to forget your purpose. So I have raised a strong girl. At 21, she wrote a book and launched it. A fiction, 300 pages. Because I told her, if you start something, you must finish it. Because I'll say her scribbling, what are you doing? Mommy, I'm writing a book. I say, you better finish it. Because being female does not make you weak. And so gender equality has the ingredient of training. If I'm not training the mind of the woman to think outside her femaleness, courage is not masculine, it's human. Leadership is not masculine, it's human. And so she needs to know that for equality to be effective, like I told the International Women's Day, for the equality to be effective, women representation in classroom must become compulsory. That girl child that's out there because they think that the man should be trained, the girl should not be trained, should stop. Nigeria should have compulsory education up to secondary school. And we should have philanthropies donating to schools so that the government, private sector will work together in creating an environment where both girl child and the male child will be trained. And guess what? Even some men are being threatened at the elite class level, thinking that women are getting all the juicy work and all this gender is shortchanging them. No, don't be afraid. When you have a strong woman beside you, your strength increases in society and as a man. So you can't be intimidated because a woman is rising. It's also for your rising.
All right. To wrap up, let's look at what Rwanda has done and the lessons for Nigeria. Interestingly, women are showing their capacity, and I'm happy about it. I look at what is playing out in the banking industry, and I must give kudos to our women,
yes,
showing that they're capable. But if you look at the political terrain, the closest could be deputy governor. We've not had female governor, we've not had female president. So looking at what is playing out in Rwanda, what kind of lessons can Nigeria imbibe so that we improve women participation in politics? You know, what's playing out in Rwanda is more of government policy or the issue of policy, creating the right environment. How should we replicate that here in Nigeria?
You just said it, environment, starting with the environment. We need to create an environment that is conducive for women to play equally and not be so dogmatic in trying to shortchange women. There are men shortchanging women. They feel there are many with that mindset who still believes that the women's place is only in the home. There are many of you out there, you know yourselves, and many of you are in government. So, but however, in creating an environment, environments are not created by angels. Rwanda was not built by angels. The humans built it. And when they ask you to show up, let me tell you something about Rwandese women, the change that really happened, especially just part of it after the genocide, is women showed up. They showed up. You know, when you talk about women showing up, it's a topic on its own, because I lead in many places as a female. And sometimes you're calling women, they don't show up. They make all sorts of excuses not to show up. And as long as you don't show up, you can't participate, you can't make decisions. So the beginning is that showing up. But the showing up also is the issue of environment. The environmental factors at home. Beloved, great husbands. Your woman in your house is one of your greatest assets. If you allow her to lead, even your economy will change. You'll go to more holidays, as it were. So we need to understand that the environment within the church, the environment within the mosque, the environment in the society, the environment everywhere. But guess what? If we have 23 million women with SMEs, they are in the market, deciding the economy at Balogu Market. One of the biggest markets in West Africa are run by women who are making good money. But guess what? Making money is not enough. The person who makes the decision for your life is at the political level. Those who make decisions are at the leadership level. You can decide to play the small game. But if you want your daughters, if you want your sons to have a better tomorrow, that market dynamics should be escalated. So you should not just only celebrate the men who are trying to take politics, but check out some female who want to, and encourage them, empower them, and ensure they themselves will lead Test them with little leadership even within the community. Then trust them with greater leadership at the regional level. It is doable, it is possible, and I think Nigeria has come to that age because the next political season, many women are going to be playing this game.
All right, we look forward to that. We cannot exhaust discussions with Reverend Juliet Binite, but we're out of time, and so we need to call it a wrap here. Thank you so much for making our time to be here physically with us in the studio today.
Thank you so much. My absolute pleasure.
Just in case you joined midway into the conversation, we've been talking with Reverend Juliet Binite, who is President, CEO, Lady Ecclesia Foundation, and she's been talking to us about empowering women's political participation and leadership in the digital age. You will benefit greatly from today's edition. All you need to do if you missed part of it is go over again, just starting from the very beginning when the early exchange started this morning. Go to YouTube, you'll find the complete video there. And so the show returns on Monday live, 8 a.m. West African time. It is Friday. 01 bells are ringing. You could go to some, enjoy yourself, refresh ahead for the next week, re-strategize, and keep sharing the good news. It is the I 104.9 is here, where business meets biz. I'm Blessing Aichi, and I wish you a great weekend.
And I'm also in position to lend my voice for the advocacy for women to show up, for women participation in politics and leadership to be at the high level. Our women need to understand that it's important they're at the table where decisions are made. So it's important you show up because power is not being served a la carte. I am Femi Ayodele. Bye for now and enjoy your weekend.
Early exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.